We are talking on the Punjab National Bank Nirav Modi matter. The essential underlining point of what I'm trying to say here with a lot of details is, as always, the Congress party indulges in such scandalous affairs, misuses positions in government, tweaks systems to help themselves, quietly cover up everything that they do, and when after Shri Narendra Modi led government comes with a clear commitment to unearthing all the scams, finds the corrupt practice and takes action comprehensively, instead of explaining as to why it happened so during their period, the allegation is being leveled at us. I'm sorry, the Congress party's allegations, not just allegations against this government, but misleading people, is just not going to add up. A concerted repeating of lies or misleading people may be a strategy the Congress would like to adopt. But I'm sorry, the facts are facing you and it is for them to answer them. I'd like to just run through some of those details which I want to put forth before you. If I may use a cliched expression, the original sin in this particular episode of Nirav Modi, Punjab National Bank, was indeed committed in 2011. Why do I say that? With the help of delinquent officers in Punjab National Bank and probably anybody else who was helping them, letter of understanding which is issued, which have only a currency for about 90 days, which hold good only for 90 days, will have to be honored, and also payments will have to be made within 90 days. But because the delinquent officer did not even put it into the core banking system and kept separate files for it strictly under his lock and key, he kept it under his control without getting into the banking system. These are flaws in the system which will have to be corrected, but I'm broadly explaining as to how this has come to play. So with that officer keeping strictly the file under his control and not putting the system, the details into the core banking system, has allowed it to be a separate activity, leading to no one else detecting it. Till he almost retired. He retired in May 2017, if my dates are right. Till then, the LOUs, which were supposed to be valid only for a period of 90 days, kept being evergreened. So 90 days are over, you roll it on for another 90 days. You keep rolling it on with the files being under the control of this particular officer. It doesn't get into the system. So the evergreening happens till such a time this man comes for retirement. And when he comes for retirement, his time is up and he's going to have to leave for having stayed unusually long time. Before handing over charge, he evergreens this not for another 90 days, the several LOUs, but he evergreens it probably for 365 days. So the evergreening of 90 days each of the LOUs kept rolling on without the details getting onto the core banking system. And finally, when he has got to actually leave, no more extensions in that position is possible, he has to finish his term, leave on retirement. We feel the information that we have is very clearly, he not just evergreened it for 90 days over several times, but at that point in time when he was about to retire, he evergreens it for 365 days and retires. Now, when this matter has got identified, it is the Modi government which has clearly used every step to tie up the loose ends to find out where this is happening, how it is happening, and the entire might of the state has clearly been within the framework of law, has been put to play. Now, not just the income tax department, not just the enforcement directorate, the serious fraud office, and also investigation office, the SFIO, the serious fraud investigation office, the ED, the CBI, and even the Ministry of External Affairs for revoking the passport have all been quickly done. Not just this, several other actions are being taken by the government. But before that, the temptation is normally, when it comes to BJP, they only throw the ball at Congress and say it is something which you've done it. And because you've done it during your period, we are pointing that out. But you have been in power now for 3 years is an argument, legitimate argument, which people pose to us. But I want to establish that indeed in this case, meticulously, step by step, it was during the UPA rule that the main offense continued, not just happened once, but continued. I'll give you one strand of it which will tell you there can be several other strands which happened during the UPA rule. But one strand which clearly happened in 2013. In June 2013, the LIC takes a 4% stake in Geetanjali Gems. LIC is a public sector company, right? It takes a 4% share, slightly over 4% share in Geetanjali. The Ministry of Finance, rightly at that time itself, in 2013 itself, questions LIC taking stake in a company which has been questioned severally, questioned for malpractice severally, and in July 2013 have also been suspended from doing business in the stock market in the NSE, National Stock Exchange. A company was suspended for almost 6 months, Geetanjali Gems, was suspended from doing business on the National Stock Exchange for nearly 6 months. And the Ministry of Finance obviously questions LIC saying, how did you take, share in this company which has difficulties, which has problems? 2013. So you're getting clear indications of something going wrong here. And on 13th September, with data coming through various different sources, we understand that Sri Rahul Gandhi participates in a promotional event for this jewelry group. And on 15th September 2013 again, a proposal for restructuring the loan and giving additional loan goes to the board of Allahabad Bank. And that restructuring and the additional loan to be given all put together goes to the extent of 1,550 crores. And it is there, like several of you in the media have already reported, one of the government nominated directors questions this and says this cannot happen. That's already in the media, so I don't need to elaborate on it. 2013 again. Later, he also meets the finance secretary, which is also in public domain. The information is already there. And he continues his tirade against this particular restructuring and loan proposal which has gone to the board of Allahabad Bank till about November. His meeting with the finance secretary, I do not know what transpired in it, but end of the day, he is being asked to put in his papers. But the loan against which he raised a voice, the restructuring against which he raised his voice, was sanctioned finally. Meaning, in spite of that voice, in spite of the dissent, in spite of his standing up against this restructuring and additional loan giving, Allahabad Bank goes ahead with doing the very thing that he objected to. But what is worrying is, they did not even put it into the minute. The minutes did not include his dissent. But the Gitanjali Gems gets the loan through. It's also noteworthy, by early 2014, before February or around February 2014, his resignation is accepted by the finance minister, the then finance minister. All due processes were probably followed. We do not know. Whether it required any consent by any other authorities, we do not know. But his resignation, the so-called demanded resignation, was accepted. Nobody has put on record, we don't know yet, as to why resignation of your own government-appointed nominee had to be asked for. Why was it demanded? Why was he asked to quit? We don't know. But it was all out there. Strangely, nothing related, a thought comes in my mind. State Bank of India, long time ago, sometime early 70s I think, State Bank of India, the then very respected chairman, between 75 and 76, early 76, was also asked to put down his papers by the then dispensation. You know who ruled India between 75 and 76? If I remember the name of that chairman, he was an icon of banking sector, Mr. Tyagi, if I remember the name correct. Talwar. Sorry, yes, it was Mr. Talwar. He was asked to resign, demanded to resign because of the ruling dispensation of that time, 75-76. The same kind of a practice here. The Congress during emergency or afterwards has not changed the modus operandi of how they put officials to difficulty, get their way through for scams. Here too was an attempt to completely suppress the facts, and somebody is raising a voice. They did not even respond. To top it all, he was asked to quit. And no reasons we know as of now. Later on, sometime we might get to know as to why he had to ask to be quitting his job. Their appointed director. The third point which I want to draw your attention, establishing my underlying argument that Congress does all this. Now we track it all up and take action. They say, no, it is your allegation, it is your period problem. No. And I'm not saying that it emerged, the original sin is of the Congress. It continued during Congress's regime. It multiplied. It took traction under the Congress regime. One more instance, which I'll show with some records, of how Congress and Congress's eminent leaders are associated with everything to do with this particular scandal. Fire Star, not 5-star, Fire Star Diamond International Private Limited is one of the several companies that Nirav Modi runs. They have acquired or taken on lease a property which belongs to Advait Holdings Limited. They own a property in a place called Trade Point Building, in the second floor of it, in Lower Parel, in Mumbai. Who are the shareholders of Advait Holdings? Now I'm giving you some papers which can show Advait Holding, Trade Point Building, Lower Parel, Mumbai, second floor being held by Advait Holdings is here. From 2002, who is one of the shareholders? Anita Singhvi, who's Srimati. You know it. And also has Avishkar Manas Singhvi, possibly his son, we do not know, but wife of one of the senior Congress leaders is here as the property shareholder. She's a director by designation, is given here. Advait Holdings also has some kind of a loan, taking of loan, no linkage, even that is available for you. But what is important here is that premises is being used by Fire Star International, Diamond International Private Limited of Nirav Modi. That building, that second floor, that property which is with Advait Holdings, whose director is Anita Singhvi, the wife of Sri Abhishek Manu Singhvi. That Fire Star Diamond International Private Limited has got that property which is Advait Holdings property, and it is from there that they've been operating in the last several years. The document is here for you. So, I may not be good in Hindi, but our senior leader from Bihar, our guide here, said it very nicely. All the inheritance and goodness and the legacy and the property and everything is yours. But आरोप हमारे ऊपर डाल रहे हो. You are the beneficiary. You are the promoter. You are the one who's leased the building for rent. You are the one who's getting rent or possibly getting anything else. You promote the Gitanjali jewels. You give them the building on rent. Your wife is a director in it. You appointed a director and made the director also resign because he spoke against the restructuring of loan for Nirav Modi's company. And then the 1,500 odd crores is given out of record. The minutes of dissent is not even there. Dissent note doesn't even go on the minutes. The finance minister doesn't even question as to why this man Dubey has to go instantly. What are the reasons for removing a director you nominated on the board? You do it all. Evergreening kept happening of the LOUs. The man who did it all quietly for you was allowed to retire. And we have taken action. We have sent them notices, we have confiscated properties, and the process is still on, but allegation is on us. Shocking that the Congress party, in spite of being reduced to 44 in the Lok Sabha, after having achieved one after the other different levels of scams, and here we go, a government where the Prime Minister said, na khaunga, na khane dunga, and he is following that word, that he would take action against anybody who's done misdeeds, follows them, pursues them, takes action against them by the rule of law, not the way you've been following people who are even law-abiding. So Congress party needs to answer one after the other several questions on this matter rather than allege us. We are taking action and that is why the matters come out. And therefore, I would appeal to the media that on this mega banking scam, there are enough and more facts in our hands with which we want to ask questions, and I'm sure you would ask these questions of the Congress party so that the public is better educated on this scam.